Welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how actually IPFS works. Let's assume that you have a file to upload into an IPFS. In the earlier video, I have mentioned that the data is stored across all over the network, right? This is how it's going to work. So what's going to happen is that whatever the file you uploaded, the file is going to be splitted into bits and pieces in the form of blocks. So all your data, all your file, whatever the file you have it, that's going to be splitted into multiple bits and pieces. And every piece of the code or every piece of the work will have a cryptographic hash which cannot be decoded by someone else. It is a cryptographic algorithm which is used here, so they cannot use it or they cannot decode the data whatever it is. And once you have the data, once you have the cryptographic hash, so what's going to happen? The data will be spread across all over the network. That means your file will not be stored in one single place. One piece of code is stored here and the other piece of code stored here and the other piece is here. Or if you have 100 computers or 100 nodes or 100 peers are connected, the data will be spread across all over the network. So if this node want to decode your data, so what will the information what it has? It has only a single piece of information, that is this information, right? If this data want to retrieve all your information, this has only these two pieces of code, so this will not have the complete information. So until unless you have the complete piece of code, you cannot actually read what is there inside the file. So that is how your file is going to be splitted into multiple blocks or multiple pieces of code, and then it is spread across the complete network. As this is a peer-to-peer network, your data is stored in many other places. And when you are trying to retrieve the file from IPFS, so when you made a call to the IPFS to one of the node, let's say you want to call an IPFS to this node. So when you send a call to this node will talk to the other nodes, and then this node will get the piece of information from all the other nodes, and then it will compile a single piece of code, and then it will form the file of the one whatever you have uploaded. So that's how it actually works. So here are the three underlying technologies in building an IPFS. So the first one is a distributed hash table. You might be confused when you look at here. So I have mentioned here that the data is split into bits and pieces and it is spread across all over the network. The question is, how do you know which piece come first and which piece come next? And how do you know that the data will not be scrambled and then you'll get a messy data? It will never happen, because every node will maintain a certain address where the previous and the next data has to be. So if you see a distributed hash table, so this hash table is going to maintain, this hash table is going to store and retrieve data across the nodes in the network. So the second underlying technology is a block exchange. It is also used in BitTorrent protocol when you are exchanging the data. So the peer-to-peer file sharing protocol which coordinates data exchange between untrusted parties. So when you say nodes, it does not necessarily that if you have to know each and every node. That means you don't have to trust one node and also the other node. You don't actually have to trust anybody in the network, but however you can trust the protocol, you can trust the IPFS protocol where the data is transferred securely and retrieved securely. And the third final thing is the Merkle tree. Merkle tree is also known as a hash tree. It is a kind of a data structure which is used to synchronize your data and then get your data to the form which it's supposed to be. At the same time, you can also verify the data whether it is the same data is given or not. So if you want to know more about a Merkle tree, I will make one more session on a Merkle-T exclusively, because this is the one of the underlying and the base concept for a blockchain and also IPFS. So I'm also going to leave few links if you want to understand how Merkle-Tree works in the description. So that's all for this video. If you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share if somebody is needing it. That's all for this video. We'll see you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.